Welcome to Dream Girl Diary. I am your host, Raven Minor, aka RaveXO. I want you all to follow along as I share my experiences and tips of self-mastery, manifestation, and building the confidence to get the life we deserve and desire. I believe we are all capable of improving our lives, so let's start now. What's really stopping you? Be a part of this journey with me as we grow mentally, emotionally, and physically. I want to be your voice of reason to keep going and for you to know that you are not alone. Are you ready? Hey, what's up? Welcome to Dream Girl Diary. It is Raven, your host as always. I hope you guys are feeling well, looking swell, all those good things as always. And it is Halloween, so happy Halloween. And I hope you guys had a really fun weekend. I didn't do too much, but it was fun, and I'm just having a chill day today on actual Halloween. I went out Saturday with my friends, and that was fun. So Sunday was kind of just like a me day, chill day type thing, and and so I really just been getting ready for the show, and I cooked a little bit today, and then what else did I do? I took a nap. I went for a walk at the park, as always, whenever I can, because it's about to start getting cold. So there's that. But anyway, enough about all of that. Let's just get into why you pressed play today. We are talking about identifying your shadow self, okay? And doing the shadow work to just better relate to yourself and really get that healing jumping, okay? Because I think this is the hardest part of ourselves, is to really be aware of everything that holds us back or makes us feel bad, or so we repress these things and we don't like to talk about them or get too deeply involved in them, or really calling ourselves out on the shit that our shadow does. So did y'all just hear that? Oh Lord, it's like somebody's dogs is fighting, I think. Did y'all hear that? Okay. We're gonna take a quick break. Okay. Are you hearing? All right, so let's just get into the for real definition of your shadow side. So according to, I think I was on medium.com, not too sure. Anyway, I was on something and I was just really wanting to just redefine the shadow and just do a little bit more homework on it, just so I can better understand all the parts of it, and then relay all that to you guys so you can start working on your shadow self. So anyway, it says, the shadow is the side of your personality that contains all the parts of yourself that you don't want to admit to having. It is at first an unconscious side. It is only through effort to become self-aware that we recognize our shadow. So yeah, that is one of the definitions there. It also says, the minute you say something about you is bad, you have a reason to suppress, ignore, and deny it. Even though the shadow is unseen, it affects everything we do. When we deny an aspect of ourselves, it doesn't disappear. It just fades away from our conscious awareness. The shadow is a life of its own and can affect our actions and life experiences heavily if we don't pay attention to it. So yeah, it's literally just living with your other side of you, because we both have those two different parts, and it's really about not even hating the side of yourself, but more so knowing that it's there and being aware of it and what it can do if you play into your shadow self too much. There was a picture of you're just sitting, or what did they have? It was just like 3 humans or whatever, and their shadow was growing bigger and bigger if they kept playing in on the shadow characteristics more so than what they truly wanted to be, or stuff like that. Like, it was doing things more out of rage than out of harmony, or something like that. And it's kind of like, if you play into your shadow side too much, it could really damage a lot of your personal relationships and friendships and stuff like that. And we don't want that. Okay, we don't want that. That is not giving. Okay, that's really not giving what it's supposed to give, or it is, but in a bad way. And so we don't want that, and we want to not live in that side. So the point of this is to let you guys know that you're not crazy and you're like, why do I act like this? It's your shadow. It's okay. Let's start there. And then we're going to write it out, talk it out, really just assess those parts of us that we don't like and how we can merge them into qualities that we do like, or know how to live with the shadow characteristics, So that's what I am about to get into, just some ways of knowing when your shadow is taking over, and just some things to start working on it and start just getting on this healing process, so we can start living like some dream girls, like you already know. Okay, now, so we are going to start identifying our shadow self. And so the 3 ways that you can learn to start identifying this part of yourself is, 1, I'm going to call it the PTP method. P as in Paul. PTP. So this is projection, ding, triggers, ding, and patterns. Okay, so these are the 3 things that are gonna be the base of how we're gonna just decipher when our shadow self is really taking a toll. So for projection, this is, what is it that you are projecting onto others, and what are others projecting onto you? So we lash out at people for the behaviors that we don't like in ourselves, and and people do that too. And I think about this when I'm thinking back of like why certain friendships didn't work out or relationships didn't work out, and I think, what were those qualities that they were possessing that I didn't like? Am I acting like this? Am I portraying these certain ways that I didn't like in them, and am I reflecting that? Because it's like, I think about, you are what you attract, or things like that. Sometimes it's a give or take, whatever. But if you find the same things happening again, which this leads into the pattern aspect as well, but just that projection, if you find, I don't like being around this person because they just seem kind of wishy-washy, and I never really know how they're feeling or thinking because they don't express these things to me thoroughly, then I look back at myself and I'm doing an introspection, and I'm like, do I communicate thoroughly with others or with certain people? And, am I doing my part on my end of being an proficient communicator? Am I telling I have true emotions, and am I being as honest and transparent as I think I am or that I want to be? So I have to think about that too. I feel like, and I'm gonna admit it, I have blamed a lot of people for the reasons that I stopped talking to them, because I'm like, oh, because you do this, and I'm not really looking in on every single thing that I do. Maybe things could have transpired differently if I communicated my emotions better or talked to them more thoroughly to express, how they were making me feel, or exactly what they were doing, so that they could better understand, and just so I could better grasp, everything that I just didn't like about the situation. So that's what that projection part is. I'm sorry if that was really like long and rambly or whatever, but that's what I think about when I hear projection, because I'm like, people, hey, well, they be acting all broke. Like, do I be acting broke? See, and sometimes it really is stuff that's like, oh, that's just kind of irritating. Like if you just have pet peeves or something, it's like you're not necessarily doing every single thing that you may not like in other people, but there are certain things to where, why do I keep meeting friends like this? Why do I keep getting in relationships like this? And then it's like you kind of have to turn the tables and look at yourself and be like, oh, maybe I just suck at communicating too. Maybe I need to start, speaking up more, be more transparent and clear, instead of trying to say, oh, well, they just never understood, or they just never got it, or I kept trying to tell them, but I say, maybe you didn't tell them, direct enough. A lot of the time I found myself not being direct and straight up enough, and it's like you have to tear some of that shit away. It's just, you're never gonna get your point across, or you're gonna build up a lot of misunderstandings and miscommunication if you're not just straight up and direct just from the get. And it's not even about being an asshole or anything, but it is about just speaking your truth. So there's that. And there's that rule, projection. Let's move on to the next. Okay, so the next one is triggers. This is noticing what gets your heart racing, blood boiling, stomach hurting, butterflies, whatever. And this is just things that reminds us of our past traumas, or, whatever, past traumas. And so when we are figuring out, oh, well, every time I see this, it makes me feel away, or every time I, do whatever it is, it's noticing those moments where I feel not good, or, and it really relays back into childhood a lot of the time, which that's why the shadow part is so hard for a lot of people to talk about, because nobody wants to really go deep into their childhood and deep into the things that made them feel bad or really sad and depressed, or anything like that. So it is really a coming to moment when you're ready to work on your shadow self, because you have to just be ready. I don't know what else to say, because it gets really deep and emotional, and it makes you not want to do it, but it's kind of just knowing that you have to at some point to work on these main things to help you. This is going to help you grow. This is going to help you heal in other aspects of your life, and just make things a lot more easier for you and abundant for you as you're healing all of these past traumas. So I really am an advocate on, you got to heal that hurt. You gotta heal that hurt, because you do not want to drag that stuff along with you in the future, and as you're moving on this journey, like, you don't want to be practicing all this self-love and self-care and blah blah, but you're still not acknowledging the trauma part, and I think I got a little too wrapped up in some areas where I was too focused on, well, I just need to be confident. I just need to be confident. I just need to be confident, and not trying to fully heal the part that didn't make me confident in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of just trying to just stomp it all over and cover it up and just pretend like I forgot about it and it doesn't hurt me. But there are things that still hurt me that I'm ready to move on from and let go of. So yeah, triggers are yeah. I was like, I don't even know what else to say besides you just already know. It's things that we just don't like to talk about, and they trigger us and we get mad and we don't feel like ourselves, and I want to eliminate that as much as I can. Okay, and the third way of identifying your shadow is patterns. Okay, patterns. Like I was just talking a minute ago, these are the things that are repeating in our lives, and this really points out the aspects to our shadow, because we're like, I keep seeing the same things reoccurring, or I notice every time so-and-so's around, or every time I see a person like this, or every time I do something like this, I feel these ways. And just noticing that is your shadow speaking out to you. It's saying patterns are expressions of the shadow, because the shadow mirrors itself into your reality to be seen and integrated. So like I said earlier, you're seeing all these new friendships and things like that, and you're noticing that they're all similar in some way, right? And you're like, why do I keep attracting these same people? Why do I keep... So it's really your shadow trying to tell you about the same patterns, these same things that you're getting yourself into, and it's wanting you to know that this is a part of you, and it's up to you now to heal that and work on it. Your shadow is kind of like your big older brother, or I don't know, or something like that. It's just like, oh my god. I just had a moment. Every time I'm talking to you guys, I have a moment thinking about my dreams and how they relate, as I just said that. I was having dreams of my older brothers just telling me messages and stuff, and I didn't understand, and because the messages would be weird, or like, they're in your dream, stuff don't really be super direct sometimes, and I was just like, why do I keep dreaming of them? I never see them. They're my god brothers, so shout out if you guys are even listening to this, but I keep having dreams of them, kind of just in my vicinity in a dream, or telling me something, but it's something not too clear where I can fully make out what they're saying. And so when I just was thinking that, I felt like they're just parts of my shadow telling me that there's things that I'm still needing to heal from, that is still apparent in my reality right now. So it's them being my big brother to be like, hey, this is happening, let's stop it, and let's take care of you. Your shadow is gonna take care of you. It's just like an annoying big sister or a big brother, or your mama or whatever, and it's just something that's a part of you, and that you can't let go. You live with your shadow side, okay? And it's not gonna ever go away, but you're gonna learn to get along with it, okay? You're gonna learn to understand your shadow side and see where it's coming from, and you're gonna learn how to communicate with your shadow side, if that makes sense. Just communicating with yourself and working on your triggers and see the patterns and the things that you're projecting onto people, So that's what this is really all about. just, so I probably sound like a broken record, keep repeating myself and everything, but I don't know, this topic is just really hits home for me right now, because I be thinking that I have, you know, certain things together, and I know that the dream girl aspect isn't about being perfect, like the literal definition of perfect or whatever, but it is that feeling of yourself that I feel good, you know, I feel good with my choices, my actions, and, you know, and things like that. And so I feel like I was trying to feel that way in certain parts that I knew that I didn't fully heal from. And, you know, these are just things relating to noticing limiting beliefs, my insecurities, judgments, things that I may say to myself in my head, things that I take personally, or things I get jealous about, or, you know, and it would be times where I just kind of let those just sink in, and I just want to forget about them. And I know that I can't, because they're going to keep coming back telling me, hey, better stop. You better stop. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, this is a part of you. You need to deal with it, and you need to really let that hurt go so you can move on, so you can grow, and so you can be that dream girl, okay? And a way that I let, for the first time, that I let all my shadow feelings out, I recorded myself answering these shadow journal prompts, and it was deep. I was crying. I was just like, I haven't felt this way, or I haven't acknowledged that I felt this way. So I'm sitting here crying, and I'm like, this hurt me, and blah, blah, blah. You know, and I'm just like, wow. And then it's like the relief you feel after getting those things out is crazy. Like, so let's just get into the tips. How about we start, you make a journal and you start writing things that make you feel insecure, things that make you feel jealous, you know, any fears, anything like that. And you make a list just so you know that everything is aware. No one's judging this. No one's gonna look at it unless you want someone to, you know, but this is solely for you. So making that list, and then you're gonna replace those negative traits with positive traits, which I'm gonna get into with the divine Flamebeau journal that I just got. It was a digital workbook, and it has journal prompts, and I only started, well, I just got it the other day, so I just started day one today. And that was the first thing, really, is to talk about 5 things that you don't like about yourself that you wish to change, and then there's 5 things that you're just replacing that with, you know, as far as, oh, I hate that I don't ever work out, so you're going to replace that with, I work out twice every week, you know, things like that. I love to use that example just because that's just a main one that I struggle with. Yeah, there's just so many things to really do for this shadow. I highly recommend just the journal prompts for real, and really just talking it out with yourself, or going to therapy, or with a trusted friend, you know. Or my favorite way to work on my shadow side is doing the voice memos, because I just find it the most effective. And I just like to, if I got something on my mind, or it's quicker and easier for me to just talk through my phone and then go back and play it if I want to, or, you know, it's just a good way for me to just release how I'm feeling. So I recommend doing that for sure. And when you're ready to start this, don't look at it as such a big task or a scary task, because it's not. It's gonna help you, and you're gonna feel really good once you start just getting these things taken care of and just feeling better mentally about them and just learning ways to deal with things instead of suppressing them and just ignoring them. So that's why I think just the shadow side is so dynamic and very helpful, really, if you try to really work on it, and just being open-minded still, as always, with trying anything new. I feel like it really will do good. And this may be another topic of discussion, possibly, but as I'm learning my shadow side or the things that, about it, this week I had realized that I had the fearful avoidant attachment, and that really confirmed so many of the things that I was feeling, and I just was like, okay, everything is check marking off the list. And just real quick, I will let you guys know what that is, and you can find out what attachment style you have as well, and really just kind of learn your own, how to feel secure too. That's when I notice I may be struggling with my root chakra and things like that, which that's a whole nother topic too, but noticing that I struggle with my root chakra, which is feeling secure and safe and things like that. So knowing that I struggle with that led me to all these other aspects when I was like, I think I saw something on YouTube, and then this lady, she had, there was a test for you to take, and mine came out as fearful avoidant. So being a fearful avoidant is an attachment that lives in an ambivalent state of being afraid of being both too close or too distant from others. They attempt to keep their feelings at bay, but are unable to. They can't just avoid their anxiety or run away from their feelings. So yeah. And there are just a lot of things check marking off, and I see this a lot in my romantic relationships and friendships as well too. But I noticed that I can get either really close with someone, and then I would get scared, and I think things just aren't right, and then they start to unfold and unravel, and then I don't want to be around them anymore, and I cut people off easily. And I noticed that that's good, but then it's also bad because it's why can't you fully express everything that you felt to them, to say that? And so I get really distant, or then I also am fighting the urge to be close and connected romantically too. So it's I want to be in this loving relationship and things like that, and then I also don't want to be anywhere near it at all. What the fuck is that? I don't understand. So that's something that I'm really diving into with myself these past few days and so on, to really work on that and really transition that fearful avoidant style to a secure attachment, so you guys, you got to be proud of me. It's I'm gonna really get this down, and I'm really eager to work on this. And if you, like I said, if you want to know what your attachment style is, I will link it to the woman's YouTube that I followed. I am forgetting her name. I think it's just it's called Personal Development School. So yeah, she's great. And yeah, I'll put the test there if you feel like there's some things that you're not understanding. This is going to really put it into perspective for you. So take the test, figure out where your attachment style is, and start researching the ways on how to heal that part. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. I know this episode may be kind of all over the place, just the shadow, and I just want to give like a personal recent example of me noticing that and really like, okay, I know I need to like do this so I could be better, and that is okay. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and that it's time to identify your shadow side and call it out, and then start working with it and build a foundation with it so it can be there as your safety net and as your guide, but also not covering, your true self, and the things that you aspire to be, because that shadow, it can overrule you if you don't have control of it. So this is really just identifying those things, taking control, stepping into your power. And yes, I hope that this was helpful, and I'm so sorry if I was ranting or rambling too much, but those are just the things I need to get off my mind today, and I hope this helped you and resonated. And I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much for listening today. Until next time, my guys, or my guys, my girls, my dream girls, I love you. Mwah.